Out of Iraq, 40 peace, labor, Democratic Party, and ecumenical groups devised peace strategies to end the Iraq occupation March 1st in Oakland. Tom Hayden, anti-war activist and author, energized the group to work together locally.
You're talking here about a professionally researched, designed, and implemented campaign of many tens of millions of dollars against McCain and against the war. So that's an atmosphere, we can say, in which we can thrive or we can wilt. We can find a way to exploit the fact that so much money and so much airtime and so much expenditure is going to Iraq as an opportunity to expand our small groups into larger groups. If you've got 12 people in your group, maybe you can get to 24. I know one of the hardest things in life is to double the size of a small group. But I'm telling you, there will be a gigantic emphasis on Iraq that will be inescapable. And in the short run that I'm talking about, we need to pay very close attention to that. The outcome of the election is kind of obviously unknown, but there's therefore a lot at stake in an election where Iraq is a central issue. A victory for McCain might actually electrify and galvanize a new, stronger, broader, more militant anti-war movement. I don't wish for that, but sociology tells me that when something like that happens, when McCain is elected, movements grow. On the other hand, a Democratic victory would, at the very least, establish a second peace mandate. We had a congressional peace mandate in '06. Necessary, in my view, to have a presidential peace mandate in '08. On the other hand, we know that mandates don't take you out of Iraq. They simply set a climate of opinion in which the pro-war forces are on the defensive, and the anti-war forces try to take advantage of the climate. Anti-McCain may be one thing that unites people more than anything else. Bill Fletcher, who worked for Trans-Africa for many years, had an interesting suggestion. He said there should be an ad hoc strategy group, an organization called Progressives for Barack, because he strongly supports Barack Obama for multiple reasons, as I do. My reason is my son, his wife, and his generation. But I'm hesitant, as you are, about Obama's ideology, viewpoint, issues like Pakistan and so on. But there is no faction within the Obama campaign that is a left wing of, so to speak, of the Obama campaign. I mean, I don't mean sitting on the sidelines saying, what about your position on this or that? I mean people who actually join in the process, the amazing process of people who are working 12, 14 hours a day for nothing all across the country and have formed an incredible community, a new movement. It reminds me of the early civil rights movement. The left always used to sit around, somebody told me, reminded me the other day, and saying, well, this demand for a hamburger at the segregated lunch counter, that's not radical enough. Meanwhile, there were these surging numbers of young people in the streets, going to jail, registering voters. They already knew it wasn't about the hamburger, but the hamburger happened to be the instrument. And this is not only about Barack. Barack is the instrument of something beyond our analysis at the moment, but it certainly is the birth of a new social movement, and I think we have to be humble and respectful. The left did not create this movement. This is going to pass us by, or we're going to be involved in it one way or another. It's just the way these things happen. Everybody in this room, and everybody in UFPJ, might well decide that they better join Move On. You know why? Because the only way to influence Move On's expenditure of money is they do daily polling of what their members want. And I remember In '04, they were doing anti-war work, and when the election was lost, it collapsed. 7 months went by. Fallujah was invaded. People were massacred, and MoveOn was lapsed. It was AWOL. It was not present. It might have been going through some internal restructuring. I'm not sure everything that was happening. And then when the Cindy Sheehan protests began, MoveOn found that to be an opportunity to start to come back. But MoveOn may want to, like any bureaucracy, may want to influence its members from the top down. But I think a healthy anti-war constituency within its membership is an extremely important thing that they have to listen to. So it's not a very difficult thing. You know, it's a keystroke or two and you're in. And then you can tell them they're not doing enough on the war in Iraq or the war on terrorism or Pakistan or whatever is the agenda. I think that the presence of Nader in the race, especially with Matt Gonzalez, is going to be quite interesting. I mean, I don't think that Nader will get more than 1% of the vote, but I think that Gonzalez, who's been a very effective figure in the Bay Area, could put California in play and put the Democrats at risk in California. So everybody in the Bay Area anti-war movement has to sort this out today because the consequences could be major. I'm not getting hyper about it because we don't even know who the nominee will be. If it's Hillary Clinton, obviously there'll be more of a case for Nader. If it's Barack Obama, there'll be less. These things are all kind of in flux. But I do think our friend Matt Gonzalez is a formidable figure in the Bay Area. My general observation of the war is that people need to study the war instead of study war no more. There's not enough understanding of war for my money. Somebody asked, I think it was Judy, maybe we can duplicate those. I'm giving you a list of 7 books on counterinsurgency and war in Iraq that I think are worth reading because part of the purpose of the social movement is personal educational development. It's like movements are a way for people to develop. Movements are like schools. Movements are like our universities. Movements are our learning experiences, and reading is necessary. The importance of studying Iraq is that even if Barack Obama or Hillary Clinton were to be elected, what's on the table here with the backing of the famous study group, you know, the Baker-Hamilton study group, is a transition from combat to counterinsurgency. And this is very, very important. It could even happen under McCain. Anything is possible here because it depends on the overall weight of circumstances, stress and strain on American forces in Iraq and in other countries. The occupation of Iraq, the smoldering so-called war on terrorism in these other countries that is becoming a larger quagmire, the energy and oil interests at the very root running through all of these military campaigns, and the effect on our budget and energy future. There should be a way in one paragraph or one sentence to talk about these issues and not talk about them separately because they are all really one issue, no? And they lead to a deeper issue, which is the gradual erosion of civil liberties and democratic possibilities because only a secretive warfare state combined with the oil companies and the intelligence agencies could possibly carry out this agenda of unremitting conflict with the Muslim world in a campaign that generates 10 more terrorists or so-called terrorists for every one killed. No better formula for a permanent military campaign. So it's really, I don't know if there is a left anymore, but I'm old-fashioned enough to believe that the revival of the left would be a healthy thing in American society.
For more information, see resolutionpeace.org, the forum sponsor.